All right, welcome back. We are here for the 1 year anniversary or birthday, however you want to put it, of Mostly Wizard. Beep, 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 beep. Welcome back. I'm Billy, here with Nick and Rush. How you guys doing?
Heyo.
Hey.
We had a little bit of a hiatus, and Rush, welcome back to the show. You've had a lot going on in your life. I think it's been, 7 or 8 months since the last time you were here. I'm glad you're here today.
It's been a little while. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
All right, we got a lot to talk about today. Let's just go ahead and dive right in. No need for the small talk. I think we've done that already. Let's go ahead and start with it's 2026 now. What did we like about 2025? What was the best surprise that you had of 2025? Nick, why don't you start?
Surprise? I mean, if you want to say what show,
show or movie or actor,
floored me the most was Severance, for sure. I thought that was extremely original, and most of the time with shows or movies, I can generally predict what's going to happen. With that show, it definitely didn't. I couldn't do it. I didn't really I couldn't figure out what was going on half the time, or I couldn't figure out where it was going, which is good. I like to be surprised, but Severance, I mean, good acting, original story, and it was weird and awesome at the same time. So that was my top show for 2025.
Solid pick. What about you, Rush?
I mean, I'd have to go the same. I think we talked about the ending on here quite some time ago, or maybe right after it happened, and I definitely felt the same way about it. I thought it was impossible to predict. The ending, left a lot of questions. I think split people a lot of way, because it was like he kind of ditched his wife for the woman that he loves inside there. So I definitely felt that way about it. Other than that, I'd just like to mention, I know you guys love the Superman movie and the Fantastic Four from Marvel. I thought were both great. And I think both were pleasant surprises.
Yeah.
I'll agree with the Superman being okay, as far as the top movies for me, Superman was definitely the top superhero movie for me, and blew away my expectations far. I thought it was going to be here. It was way up here. The other movie was Predator Badlands. I loved Predator Badlands. It was a Predator movie that wasn't a Predator movie. That was a badass sci-fi movie. I loved it, and I'm hoping they continue with. I forgot his name, but I hope they continue with the story. But yeah,
the alien,
the Predator,
the Predator, the alien species. I meant. That was awesome. I loved Badlands. What's that bumping? Somebody got something tapping?
Nope.
What did you say?
No, it's gone now. Best surprise for me, honestly, show-wise, it was Welcome to Derry, which was a show I had zero expectations with. I don't like the It movies. I don't like the scary clown crap, but it was an HBO show, so I was going to give it a chance, definitely. And I gave it a chance, and it did it for me. The ending was phenomenal. The whole season was just such a surprise, so surprising how well it was done. That was the biggest surprise for me. And I think just kind of mirroring that, the next question I have is, what was your biggest letdown? I think, to be honest, I would say Stranger Things final season was the biggest letdown for me. I loved the finale. I don't know what you guys think. Nick, I don't think you watched this show, but I loved Stranger Things. I did not like season 5, but I did like the actual final episode that a lot of people don't like. But I love how they wrapped it up. It was a coming of age story and all that. But I put those two back to back because it's almost like the biggest problem that Stranger Things had was time and all the delays and stuff. And so HBO caught up to them, and they put out a better show about little kids dealing with fear and evil and all that shit. So like Welcome to Derry was better for me than Stranger Things season 5, even though I really did like how they closed out the season. So
I'm looking forward to watching that. Welcome to Derry.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I'm on board with you, Billy, about the It movies. I mean, like, I like the It movies, but I don't like the gore. So, Welcome to Derry. I thought I followed it, but I don't like the gore stuff. I mean, there's something about it.
It's so fun though. It's so
I know.
So real quick, I'm not to cut you off. Not to cut you off, but the thing that I love about Andy Muschietti, the director, he was the guy who did The Flash. His CGI is so bad, and he directs it that way, I think, for a reason. Like Stephen King, like, you know, there's like Stephen King movies always have like the bad CGI crap going on. Andy Muschietti like hones in on that, and so like for me, that like takes me out of it just enough to be like, it's not too gory for me because it's so like dumb and like over the top. So not sorry to cut you off, but that was one of the points I wanted to make.
So I like the 90s miniseries with Tim Curry way more than the remake from like 2017 and 2018 or 19. Just because, like, you know, I'm an old school guy, you know, like give me some analog, you know, I think we did it better back in the day. But Tim Curry, I think definitely did it better. I mean, maybe it was because I was a kid then and, you know, growing up with it. But so what I did like about Welcome to Derry is just how, and it's exactly how all these other universes that have expanded like kind of do it. They add a little bit of a knowledge to it. Like that's what I really liked about Welcome to Derry is they added to Stephen King's universe and they connected it with The Shining. I thought that was like, you know, a little bit of a chef's kiss right there. I really like that.
Other novels too, like Shawshank Redemption, they mention a bunch, and yeah, there's a bunch of world building that I love.
They do that in a few shows. I can't remember the name of it, but there's a show where it's the young, the woman the character in Misery. It's her. It's a really good show because they visit Shawshank Prison. They do a lot of world building in it. But the woman who plays her is
Kathy Bates' Kathy Bates' character.
Yeah, it's her character, but it's a young version of her.
Are you kidding me,
dude? It's like when she's like actually going around killing people in hospitals and stuff. Like, and she talks like her and acts just like her. It's pretty wild.
How have I not heard of
you
this?
like the actress because she's in like
Castle Rock?
Yeah, Castle Rock. That's it.
Okay, I did not know what that was about. I heard that show is really good.
It's really good.
Awesome.
It's really good. I really liked it.
Yeah, I've been on a Stephen King kick since.
It should be on Disney Plus, by the way, because it's on Hulu.
All right.
Wow. How did I not know about this?
Dude, it's really good.
I'm a big fan of Lizzie.
Dude, they even have Tim Robbins, I think, plays a character in it, and then they like visit Shawshank prison and stuff. Like it's good stuff. Yeah.
I like that.
Well, cool. I'm gonna check that out.
All right. I just wanted to finish up kind of a little bit on that. But
I
really liked Welcome to Derry, how they kind of expanded that and connected all that stuff. I mean, it kind of a little bit of the stuff, you know, how they gave it limitations with like the meteorite that it came in with, that like, you know, they can put it here and here, and that, you know, it's trapped in between those things, or the dagger made out of the meteorite could like take it down. I thought that was, you know, just all kind of made up. I've never read the books, so I don't know if that's true or not. And and I thought if that's in the books, okay. If it's not in the books, then I thought it was kind of lame, a little bit lame that they gave it that limitation. But I understand why, because like in the whole show, they were trying to like, or it was like, you know, coercing the military to remove these things, and if they do, you know, it could get worldwide, and then everyone would be fucked. I mean, I get that. But I really, really liked.
I don't see what there's not to like about that.
well, I mean, here's the thing. Okay, so before the show, it didn't have limitations.
And I didn't like that. And I had
Well,
I had no interest in a stupid clown that scared little kids, but this added limitations, therefore I care more.
Well, I mean, you always wondered, like, okay, so why is it only staying around here? I mean, like, I don't know, like, I just felt like it didn't need to be like something that could just spread out like a universal blanket. Like, I don't know.
Well, hang on spoilers too. I forgot Russ is still going to watch it.
I do want to touch on, what was the other show that you were talking about that you did back to back?
Stranger Things, because it was very similar.
Things. Yeah, I mean, like, I am not going to hate on Stranger Things. I didn't watch the final season only because it's just, in my opinion, they did this wrong. They waited way too long to finish the show up.
Partly not their fault.
I mean, still though, like, they could have done like season 1, 2, and 3, like literally within like 2 years.
Yeah,
and like, you know, filmed it, and then
I'm saying 4 to 5 though. There was an actors strike and pandemics and all that shit. So.
But I mean, like, we're talking like 10 years, 10 years, and I just felt like they could have done this in like half that time, you know. But that's just me.
Had it been tighter, it would have been way better. That's definitely my main critique of the whole show.
So, like, I'm not going to hate on it. I've watched a bunch of highlights and stuff on it, and, you know, I'm down with it because, you know what? I will always promote Stranger Things because what it did do, just like Skeleton Crew did from our very first show, and what I was talking about with that, why Skeleton Crew was awesome, was because it brought back that nostalgia of, like, the, you know, Skeleton Crew, the Goonies, plus like Star Wars, and like, you know, this, like, and that's what Stranger Things did, and it did it well, and so I won't hate on it. But all right, so as far as it
needed pirates.
Biggest letdown of 2025, 100% Alien Earth. Fuck you, Alien Earth.
I've heard really good things about that. I haven't had time to watch it yet.
Yeah, you probably heard good things by watching me promote that fucking show because I loved it. The first 2 episodes were fucking awesome.
I thought the first 6 episodes, wasn't it 8 episodes?
Well, all right, Billy, the way this went through our series of Alien Earth was that I loved Alien Earth, you hated Alien Earth, and then you loved Alien Earth, and I hated Alien Earth. That's how that went.
And then by the end, we both hated the finale. Like, we both like hated how it ended.
Well, I like to add in there not my biggest disappointment. Maybe my biggest disappointment is that they weren't able to finish the movies from Alien Covenant to go on and see what was going to happen there. Because I don't think they're going to finish that. Am I correct in that?
Well, I think they're still moving on from Requiem.
Well, no, I heard they're going to do an Alien Romulus 2, or, you know,
Romulus.
That's what I heard.
Well, Romulus was good as hell, but you know, the Prometheus and then Alien Covenant, and I thought they were going to finish it up.
You're okay. So you're talking about like that storyline that, like,
the engineers storyline. I liked that. A lot of people are hating on it though, Rush.
Well,
like,
Prometheus was so good. So
I loved it. A lot of people hate
that
movie though.
I've watched it like a dozen times. I love it, but Covenant wasn't quite as good. But I thought they were going to lead into the beginning of Alien, the original movie, and I was really bummed they didn't do that because there were so many questions of the Alien of Covenant, like more than after Prometheus. So I was like, okay, where are you going with this? And then I don't think they're doing it.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, I think that was probably one of the biggest criticisms of those 2 flicks was just the way they kind of put this information in there that, like, hey, this is what this is, and this is, you know, type of a deal. And so I think, Rush, if they would have done a 3rd movie, it would have done it. People would have thought differently about the first 2.
Yeah.
But like, if they were going to do like they did with a Romulus and you know, stuff like that, where they're pretty much, because the whole thing is they're talking about, like, how does number one, a face hugger impregnate you? Is there like an embryo or something like that, like shoots down there, or is there, like, you know, this black goo that rewrites your DNA? And then there's also like how you can get cocooned and turned into like an egg sac, and then like you become like that's a deleted scene from Aliens where people are getting cocooned and they're actually turned into the face hugger eggs, and, you know, But so
Okay.
it's like how I think a lot of people were mad about the specifics of what is going on, and then I think a lot of people were also mad about like, hey, we thought this was all the engineers, and then it's like, oh, we have David, what's his name?
Yeah, that was a bit of a curveball that I wasn't expecting. That I didn't necessarily like. I'm with you there.
Yeah, I mean, like, but like at the same time though, I thought it would have been cool if they would have shown, because he took over the community ship or whatever, and I thought it would have been cool that it showed, all right, he's got all these new embryos and stuff like that. What happened? That would have been cool.
Well, and I also would have liked to have seen what the engineer's world was like, but it's like the first 5 minutes of the movie kills the whole planet.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, okay. But by the way, because we're on this subject, I watched an interview with James Cameron and Michael Biehn talking about Alien 3. And it's hilarious because Michael Biehn knows that James Cameron's all ginned up about Alien 3. And he's like, oh, you really love that movie, right? And he's like, I fucking hate that movie. And he's like, you spend the second half of the movie saving this little girl and building up all this goodwill for her and for Bishop and for the soldier, what's his name? And then you kill them the first fucking 5 minutes of the movie. Right. He was like, that's the dumbest fucking. And then you replace him with a bunch of fucking convicts that you want to see die. He's like, that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard.
And that's Michael Bihn's. I actually saw that. That's Michael Bihn's podcast. I remember.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
All right, Rush, what was your biggest letdown of 25?
I may be wrong on the timeline. I think this is 2025. Or I think you could at least spill it over into 2025. It ended up being okay because I think the Doomsday thing's going to be pretty kick-ass. And it sucks that what's-his-face ended up being a pretty bad guy in person, not just a character. But Quantumania not being all that great, I still wanted to see where the storyline went, with all of that. Because they dig into that actually a good amount in Loki. They were kind of building up, what he was going to be. So I wanted to see what that was going to be. That's never going to happen anymore, obviously. I think it might end up being a good thing. But, I was more into it than some people were. I mean, Quantumania wasn't great, but I did want to see where that storyline ended up.
Yeah.
But we'll never get that. So that was probably my biggest.
I think we will. I honestly think they're going to bring the notion of Kang back in some way.
I heard the
not
same
just
thing.
In a throwaway thing. I think
heard
there's been some time, and so just we don't get into big social issues here, but like when somebody is accused of something, they stand trial and they're either convicted or not convicted. He was not convicted, but he's paid the price in public opinion. And now it's time for him to come back, and I'm all for that. Like if he can mount a comeback, not saying Kang's gonna be like get his own movie like Kang Dynasty, but I think he'll be in a scene to close his story out.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you have that like stadium full of Kangs, I'm like, man, there's so many different directions you can go here. And then I was like, we're not doing
even if
that.
it's one battle where Doom is just wrecking shop with all those alien Kangs, and then maybe there's like a one-on-one between Kang and Doom, and there's like that final face-off. I think we're gonna get that Jonathan Majors, not even cameo. I think he's gonna get his chance to cap that character off.
I've been wondering how they're gonna pack so much into the Doomsday movie, but I forgot about Secret Wars.
Yeah.
I think they'll be able to go. Maybe Secret Wars is sort of like a Doomsday 2, essentially. I mean, I could see that happening.
And honestly, I could see Secret Wars being broken into 2 movies, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I think realistically, they're going to keep it to one movie, like a long movie.
I heard it was 2.
No, I mean, if you heard that, it's still speculation, but
possibly 3.
Well, we'll get into Marvel in a minute. We're still going with biggest letdowns. I think that covers that for now. Anything else on 2025 that caught your eye?
If you guys haven't seen it, the new Jurassic Park movie fucking blows, in my opinion.
I actually liked it. It was so everybody. I didn't see it until I saw it like 3 weeks ago.
Let me bring up one scene, okay? The beginning where the guy has the candy wrapper, and the candy wrapper like stops the thing from
that was
closing.
super dumb. That doesn't ruin the
dumbest
movie.
shit. It was very hard for me to get past that after I saw that. I was
What
like,
movie is
come
this?
on, man.
The new Jurassic World movie.
Oh, yeah.
No, my biggest complaint about that movie was the title. I don't like that word rebirth. It just sounds sticky.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't love it. Didn't love it.
Honestly, the thing that like I just love the action scenes in that movie, like the T-Rex swimming under the boat, like that was so cool. Like
That was cool.
Overall, I liked that movie. Honestly, when I was talking to my sister-in-law about this, I think I liked that movie second best of all the dinosaur movies. So original Jurassic Park, then Jurassic World Rebirth, then Jurassic World, then all the others can be thrown in at the end from there.
Jurassic Park, Lost World.
Lost World. I'll move that up.
Yeah, I mean, I like the second one. I like the second. I like the whole original series. I mean, there's issues with it, but I like them.
Well, I will add series that I did absolutely love was Creature Commandos. Rush, if you haven't watched Creature Commandos,
was that last year?
Multiple times to watch Creature Commandos.
Was that only last year?
That was 2025. Yeah.
That feels like 2 years ago, dude.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, our first episode was Skeleton Crew. I think we did like Creature Commandos, like either an episode or two after that.
Yeah, that show was. I like that best of anything James Gunn has done so far.
Right, and it's
not even exaggerating.
I love how it complements James Gunn's universe and it's setting it up. And I'm a huge animated fan, especially the DC animated, because DC animated is always dominated. And I'm glad that this is met the par, because before DC animated was like the Justice League. I don't know if you've been privy to any of that or watching any of that stuff. It ended with like the Flash going back and doing, changing it so that it never happened. Flash. But DC animated has always dominated over. I mean, Marvel doesn't even come close. But Creature Commandos, though, Rush, if you want to add to Peacemaker.
Well, I'm halfway through Peacemaker season 2, and I fucking love it.
Yeah, dude,
I love James Gunn.
It adds to the Peacemaker series, adds to Superman. It's what starts everything off.
I gotta say, dude, Tim Meadows is probably my favorite part of Peacemaker. His bird blindness. That shit makes me laugh so hard for some reason.
I absolutely love that, Rush. That was honestly like, so I finished the series. It's great. Like the finale of that would be another one of my biggest letdowns of 2025. Yeah. So I think it's eight episodes. 7 of them are freaking phenomenal. What you're responding to right now is like that's the 7. But then he just did something. You'll see, like he did something different with the last episode, and it didn't work for me.
Anticlimactic is the word you're looking for.
Yeah. All right. Just like the end of that segment, anticlimactic. Let's move on to Star Wars for a few minutes. Star Wars, sometimes I say. Yeah, we had kind of a slow year for Star Wars. We had Andor Season 2. Rush, you have not finished that yet. Nick, you and I covered that kind of extensively, so we don't need to get into that. But I think that was the best thing since the original trilogy that Star Wars has ever created, and it's timely in current events and everything.
But it was before current events too.
It was predictive of current events.
Right. Yeah, it's like a year before it.
And it was phenomenal. That said, we have news recently that Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down in coming months in favor of Dave Filoni and this co-lead. I forget
What's her name. Yeah, I don't know her name either.
It sounds kind of like Filoni. It's like Baloney or something like that. But
right, I don't know.
That said, I don't know that we're gonna get Andor again. Like, not that we would get Andor. Like, Andor as a series was done, but
not giving anything away, isn't it? Like, end with the movie. Like, how much more can you do? I mean.
No.
And that's what I'm saying. It's okay that we don't get any more Andor, because like artistically,
right? Because the movie's incredible, and leading to that's fine.
I will add, and I will say, the show itself, you don't the speeches, the stuff that goes on, like the speeches, like are like
In
let me
season
get really
one, they're in
patriotic,
trouble.
and like you don't see that stuff, and I will give that so much credit, and it is just fills in the gaps of what these non-force wielder people, of course, maybe Andor had some little bit of force. Who knows, right? Or no, that was the lady. That was the lady. That was that was that sickness lady or whatever, the healer.
No, the force is working through them or whatever.
But either way, though, like I'm just saying, like season 1 had some great speeches. Season 2 had some great speeches. I don't get teared up very much, but when it's just like a self-sacrifice for like this cause that you completely feel like this is your entire being, like this is your morality, like that, doing good, you know what I mean? Like for the sake of good, that makes me tear up. Like doing good, when nobody else is doing good, that makes me tear up. Like that's what I feel like, Andor, season 1 and 2 was. And but like, I don't know what you were going to say about like, getting more Andor, but like, I mean,
no. So let me clarify my point. I did not mean that we're getting more Andor. What I meant was Andor figuratively. I don't think we're going to get that tone again. I don't think we're going to get that dark again. I don't think we're going to get that heavy thematic, like overtone with like the humanist, like, and I say that because that is not, as much as I loved Andor, it's not Star Wars. Star Wars is pulp. Star Wars is,
I could debate you right now. I would say Andor's entire show was all about hope. I would say Andor's entire show was Star Wars in its purity.
Nick, I said pulp, P-U-L-P, like pulpy.
Yeah.
Like it's like there's a lot of story there. Like like you can get your hands dirty in there. Andor was that, and it worked, but it was a tunnel vision version of Star Wars. And I don't think with Dave Filoni and this other woman taking over, we're going to get that again. I think Kathleen Kennedy was very careful in her tenure to allow something like that to rise. And I don't know that any other head is going to allow that. I think they're going to play it safe moving forward. And I'm a little worried about that, as much as I love Dave Filoni.
Before I talk about this, Rush, did you ever get a chance to watch the Skeleton Crew series?
No.
Okay. Definitely watch Skeleton Crew series. I loved it, but it's like it's touching on what he was just saying as far as like the tone. Like if you watch Skeleton Crew, the tone is like campy, meets the Goonies, meets Star Wars, meets like Pirates of the Caribbean. And it's awesome. It's fucking awesome. It meets E.T. Like all that like feels like, dude, you love Skeleton Crew because the total vibes, like you get this E.T. vibe and everything. It's great.
Don't worry, I'm definitely going to watch it.
But it goes to what he was just kind of saying, and I kind of want to agree to him, but I can't agree to him now because I don't know what the Starfighter with Jude Law or not Jude Law. What's his name?
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling's going to be like, how that tone's going to be. But like the Skeleton Crew show was just like he said, the tone was just completely, absolutely opposite. But it was great. It was awesome, and I love that. So as far as what he's saying that we may not get that like dark, serious, gritty grind, humanistic feeling that like Andor gives. I reserve my right to say that I can't say that that's true because I don't know. Maybe I can make it say something after Starfighter comes out. But then again, though, we have is Maul's a series? Yeah, I'm pretty sure Maul. Yeah, Maul's going to be a series, so that might be something. I don't know, but
just to kind of go over what's coming out this coming year. So we have the Maul. I forget what the actual title is. It's like
Shadow of
Darkness or whatever, something generic like that. But I'm looking forward to it. Starfighter, huh?
You can't go wrong.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. We have the Starfighter movie coming out this year, and then shortly thereafter, the next year, is Mandalorian Grogu. So like you can already see like they're moving towards that kind of like Mandalorian Grogu. We know that's going to work because people love Baby Yoda, that kind of thing. Starfighter, I think, is going to be more pulpy. We know now as of this week that there's going to be a lightsaber duel in that movie. Have you guys heard that news about Tom Cruise
Cruise filming that? Yeah,
which I think is bullshit. The people that
no, Nick. Apparently, he was visiting the set, and they were joking with him, and it's like in a swamp, and they're like, "You should get in there and film this with the camera." And he's like, "Of course." Tom Cruise is like, "I'm all over it." Like, jumps in the swamp, grabs the camera, and he films the whole thing with the camera
behind the camera. If that's even true, like the people that I listen to were saying stuff, like there's rules against things like that. Not anybody, there's union rules. What I mean, like not anybody can just pick up a camera and get in there. But he's Tom Cruise, so
yeah. Well, I mean, he's like certified to do literally everything. So that might be a loophole there.
That is very true. Either way, I love this story. I love, even if it's fake, like that's part of the lure of this movie now. Like, oh, did you hear Tom Cruise directed a scene in that movie?
Yeah.
Awesome. Totally. That's totally Star Wars to have lure like that attached to it. So I have really high hopes for that movie. Not overly high hopes, but realistic hopes.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I feel super positive about, is Doom, and we could maybe, if you guys wanted to at some point touch on what's going on with Star Trek a little bit, because Nick and I really love that.
Sure.
Because I'm not loving what's coming with Star Trek.
Well, let's pause on the Star Trek. Put a pin in that. We'll come right back to that. But
that's what I was saying. We'll get to that.
No, yeah, because that'll be our next topic.
I'll follow. Let's do it. Let's go.
Let's go ahead and go into Doomsday, because that is, the big to do about this coming year with Marvel. So just kind of set the stage for the discussion. Doomsday, we got an announcement about a year ago that Robert Downey Jr. was going to come back and play Doom. Russo brothers are writing and directing it. And just recently, over the holidays, they started, over the course of Avatar Fire and Ash being released, they started releasing these teaser trailers. Rush, I know you've been avoiding trailers and teasers of that sort, so I'm not going to spoil anything whatsoever. But we've had four trailers now, and they're very much teasers, and they just introduce, people that are going to be in the movie. They have a common theme, a common thread through them, which you can pick up on or not pick up on if you want. I just really, without going into spoilers and stuff, I like how they're rolling this out, where, it's small, short, little things just to kind of get the conversation going. If you want to avoid it, you can, like we're able to have this conversation right now, because of the way they're rolling it out. I liked the chair announcement, as ridiculous as that was, 5 hours or whatever it was of chairs and names on chairs. And now they're doing this teaser thing, hopefully leading up to a trailer drop on Super Bowl.
Do you think they're going to
dig it? What do you guys think?
Because the biggest problem they've always had is just giving away too much in the previews. So I mean, we have December? Is it supposed to be December?
Yeah, it's like right before Christmas, or maybe on Christmas, I think.
Right. So I mean, right now, I definitely saw the trailers, but I didn't really pay attention too much. I saw a long-haired Magneto and Patrick Stewart looking real old, and that's fine. That's great. I love those two. Those are probably my two favorite actors. If they're my top 5.
Is that news to you, Rush?
No, I saw that.
Yeah,
I'm such an X-Men fan. I couldn't.
Did you see? So you saw Scott Summers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude,
I'm glad they're bringing him back.
I was very excited about that.
I didn't want to spoil that for you, but just seeing the comic accuracy.
That was impossible to miss, man.
What's his dimension? I've always loved Cyclops. It's not
the kinetic force dimension. This kinetic force.
Kinetic force.
Kinetic force.
right.
Like, yeah,
It's
all
not lasers. He's opening a
kinetic force.
portal into another dimension. Like, it's so cool. And so to see that visualized in a movie with sentinels in the background, which a lot of people are saying there's multiple sentinels. I was taking that as I saw fingers. I saw like fingers in the background like this, but maybe those are.
What do you think, like Apocalypse?
No, like bigger, like giant sentinels. Like,
Okay.
Well, Apocalypse can make himself big and small.
Yeah, he can be huge. That's what I was. Yeah.
no, I know that. I'm just saying I don't deny it seemed more sentinel color coded in the scene.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were throwing some old school stuff in there. I definitely think that's at least one sentinel in the background. I love the Scott Summers. I love those guys doing their thing. Like, I love that Ian McKellen's back playing his part and going to be doing a new Lord of the Rings, which is so sick.
I was about to say that too.
So sick. But well, as much as I've been trying to avoid it, I've seen that. I saw the Captain America one, which was funny to me because he was interviewed like the day before. I was like, yeah, it's a bummer all those guys are getting together and everything. And like, it was so obvious he was not being straight with it because I think he's a bad liar. It's gonna be impossible to avoid. I'm on social media. I'll see that stuff. So I want to try to avoid some of it. And I do think that there's so much to pack in there that they will have some surprising things. Like, I've heard all types of rumors of people from all types of different movies, all types of different storylines that they'll kind of push in there.
Billy, is X-Men 97 gonna be like how Creature Commandos is to James Gunn's DC universe? How his animated, Creature Commandos show is canon to the live action DC universe. X-Men 97, that's not canon to.
I believe it is. The reason I believe it is because in X-Men 97 season 1, which we have season 2 coming out, I think this year, I'm tentatively excited about season 2. The Bo DeMeo drama there. I'm worried. I wish he was still just on the show, period. But because the Watcher was in the sky of one of those episodes, that ties it directly to What If, which ties it to the MCU. So yeah, I think it's all part of that.
I mean, like, the only reason I'm saying
there's rumors that in Doomsday we're gonna see like animated worlds, kind of like we did in Multiverse of Madness.
I mean, the only reason I was saying I'm not thinking. I mean, I don't know, but like all I know is that Channing Tatum is supposed to be reprising his role as Gambit, but is he from the X-Men universe from the 2000s, or
he's not animated, is he?
Well, in the animated X-Men 97, Gambit,
I know. I think they're gonna make a distinction though. Like it's like if this person looks like this and they're in live action, then they're this world. If they're animated, they're in this world. Then
okay.
There's got to be clarity.
That makes sense to me, because I know that the secret, the meshed up world is from like all these different things. I mean, one of the things I did want to see though from the meshed up world that I remember but like seeing the animated YouTube of when people were like doing like the comics, and it's fucking cool. But like one of the worlds was like the zombie world. One of the worlds was like Ultron took over, and like so he's got a continent. The zombies got a continent.
Battle World is going to be sick in Secret Worlds.
Yeah.
And in Secret War. And that's why I think Secret War is going to be split up. Like, I think they're going to call it maybe Secret Wars and Battle World or something like that. Like, instead of doing part 1 and part 2, like, I think that's going to be.
Yeah, I had asked Billy, like, just like how Creature Commandos is canon to the live action James Gunn DC universe, even though it's animated, it's completely canon to the live action DC James Gunn DC universe. The X-Men 97 show that just came out, does he think that it's going to be canon to what we're going to be seeing with the 2000s X-Men coming up here in Doomsday? And that was his take, is that, he thinks that there's a possibility that like a continent or part of the world could be, that animated. And the only reason I said like no is because like Gambit, as you know, died in X-Men 97. Spoiler alert. And Channing Tatum is reprising his role as Gambit.
Well, I think they could make it partially, but I still don't think they will, just from a marketing standpoint, just because they shit the bed so badly over the last few years, and they're trying to get as many eyes on the screen as they can. They're not going to make it they're not going to make it any more complicated than it has to be for people to come to the screen and watch it without knowing the background. I think
it's going to be very clear cut.
Yeah.
Just like Deadpool or not Dead. Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine. You know, we all went into that movie thinking, you know, some weird in Multiverse of Madness. Like, we've learned our lesson so far. Like, they're going to go with Occam's razor. You know, the simplest answer is what's right. You know, like, it's going to be whatever my mom, my 70-plus-year-old mom can understand if she watches the movie. That's what they're going to go with. They're not going to go with this convoluted stuff that you have to, like, go back and dig through comics and stuff. They'll have Easter eggs like that, but that's not going to be like plot based or like character based.
Right.
Or whatever.
So I'll ask you guys this after commenting on this. So my first I'm going to comment and then I'm going to ask you guys this. So we heard that the Blade movie is completely canceled with how do you say his name? Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala Ali. Yeah.
And you know, Wesley Snipes made the prediction there's only one Blade, but they are supposedly moving forward with a Midnight Suns with what's his name from the Dragon Show. God, I can't think of a name.
Dane Whitman. It's the Black Knight.
Yeah, no. From what? It's not Dane Whitman. It's who? Jon Snow. Who's Jon Snow? What's his name?
I don't know.
Well, you know what I'm talking about.
His Marvel character, Nick, is Dane Whitman.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Don't they reference Blade in the end of Eternals or something?
Yeah. Jon Snow, but it's Mahershala Ali like talking. But like
Kit Harington.
Kit Harington. Yeah. So supposedly they're moving forward with the Midnight Suns like storyline, which is cool. Great. I love it. Either way, though, if they do that, I mean, honestly, like the way Wesley Snipes' reception was from his reprisal of Blade in Deadpool and Wolverine, Marvel would be stupid to not give the part to Blade. Like, I'm just saying. Go ahead.
With Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider.
Yes.
Wesley Snipes.
Dude,
yes.
totally.
Why would you not do that after Secret Wars? Like, that's what, you know, like, and yeah, maybe you could shoehorn Mahershala Ali in there. And I say that I wanted to see Mahershala Ali like 5 years ago as Blade so bad. We're 5 years past that point now. Yeah. We got to move on. So if
they're not taking risks with projects anymore. They're not going to, with all the ins and outs of directors jumping out and actors jumping out, like they're not going to do it. There's no.
I mean, I don't know if you guys remember from like the 2010s, early like 2010 probably or 2011, the miniseries live action Blade. I can't remember his name who played him. It was okay.
I did not even know that existed.
It does. I watched all the episodes.
I didn't know that until Deadpool and Wolverine because the guy plays a cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, okay.
So that conversation segues me to the questions I wanted to ask you guys. So as far as these smaller projects that we've, kind of seen, just like, we were just talking about, do you guys think or want, number one, think these like kind of smaller storylines are what people want and are going to be successful? And number two, is it something that you want to see? Because for me, I like these smaller type stories, What
do you mean? What do you mean? Like,
okay,
what do you
so perfect example is if and I don't want to put Spider-Man in this category. I mean, if we were going to put like anything in this category, it would be like if I can't even think of his name right now. Part of the Defenders, he's blind. What's his name?
Daredevil.
Okay,
that's my favorite show.
Right. Well, if Daredevil, the same dude, who plays him in the show, were to get a movie, and it's all street level. It's all street level with Jessica, maybe like a couple team ups with Jessica Jones and I forgot his name, who's Bulletproof.
Luke Cage.
It's all like a confined, solid.
Well,
you know,
they're continuing that on. Like Daredevil season 2, or not season 2, the Reborn I thought it was fucking awesome. And in the new Spider-Man, apparently that's gonna just be like a continuation from what happened at the end of that season with Punisher and a bunch of other characters.
For example, Punisher movie.
Where like he took over New York City and everything like that.
It's an isolated, small movie, just like how like those, like we're talking about Star Wars before, Billy. Like how everything doesn't have to be connected. Like the Starfighter movie is going to be apparently just an isolated movie, and I think those type of movies, and that's what I'm thinking about when we're talking about the Midnight Suns, is like, I get that it could possibly be connected to a higher thing, but like, I think that like these isolated movies do have their success. That not everything has to be a sequel and a trilogy, type of a deal. And honestly, like I think that these, type of storylines are winners in my opinion. I mean, Spider-Man kind of comes close a little bit. I mean, I don't know. I can't say that all these Spider-Man movies are all super connected. They all seem, in my opinion, they're all isolated, in my opinion.
I get what you mean by that. They're not. They obviously continue on. Like after the second one, he's revealed the world and all that stuff. So there's that, but there is kind of like a jump around a little bit.
But it's not like in my opinion, where I get it that some of it does connect to a higher storyline, like to the Avengers and stuff like that, or Doomsday or stuff like that. But like, I think that like just these smaller storylines where it's not connected to anything can be beneficial. And I think that that's kind of what people definitely want to see, is just not everything connected to everything. I mean, what's your opinion on that?
I think plain and simple, I think we want to see stuff like that, but the general public doesn't. I mean, general public is in like, if you're trying to go big box office $1 billion movie, people don't generally want to see that, but of course we do. Right now, Marvel really fumbled over the last few years, so I don't think we're going to get that as much as we would like.
I mean, what do you think of like? Do you think like if they were just to do a Punisher movie, but they don't? I mean, I guess I
think they are.
They better. I mean, they should.
They're doing a featured event, like how they did Werewolf by Night.
Yeah,
right.
They're doing it like that. Yeah. Or they're doing something like Echo, where it's like a spotlight.
See that Billy, that kind of puts what they did wrong. Like they're taking like someone like Echo. Like I've never heard of Echo. Like.
Well, that's character, but what if they did what they did to Echo to Punisher? I think that's a good move.
Like,
but they've already got the Punisher series. It's like just continue that. I mean,
true.
But what if? Yeah.
But hear me out though. Even though they could do the Punisher series and then do like a short 2-hour-long movie and then continue with the Punisher series. I mean, like, and it's all. I think that's connect that. I would like that.
From what I was hearing, I think that's kind of what they're doing. They're doing they do special presentation. That's the term I was looking for. Like Werewolf by Night and then Guardians holiday special.
Sure.
So something like that, like a 90-minute, like just Frank Castle gets pinned down and he has to kill a bunch of ninjas. Like, yeah, take my money. Like, awesome.
I'd watch that.
So like to just to end this whole thing, like to be very specific, like what didn't work with the Ben Affleck Daredevil was an Elektra movie, and nothing to do with her being a female. It's just she's not a big enough character to have that sort of a movie. And she had 2. Did she have 2 or she have 1?
I think she had 2. I like to bring her back in the Wolverine movie.
All I'm saying is that like I like the smaller unknown character. The benefit of having an unknown character have their own movie is that you don't know what the fuck is going to happen or what's going on. You know what I mean? But in certain circumstances, they got to be the right character though. Like just they,
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? So
that's what I'm saying. I think the Echo show, like I like the Echo character, but the character didn't need its own show. I like certain aspects of that show, but it was like overdone. Like they could have done a 1 hour episode, like our special presentation, but it didn't need 6 episodes.
Right off the bat here, I just came up with this. So who do you think should get their own movie? And not a show, a movie. In my opinion, Kingpin. Small character, isolated movie, Kingpin.
Kingpin? No, that would have to be a Daredevil movie.
This is my opinion. What's yours? What's your movie? Come on.
I like this question. I'm gonna think for a second.
All right, Rush.
In the Marvel realm, right?
I'll tell you who should get their own movie. If you wanted to like prequel it, is Kilgrave in Jessica Jones.
Why do I know that name? Kilgrave.
He's the main bad guy in the first season of Jessica Jones.
The Purple Man?
Yeah.
That's his real name, Kilgrave?
That's the funny thing in the series is his real name's something else, and she goes Kilgrave. She's white. Well, not like murder something, She like makes fun of him for coming up with that name. Dude,
I think he's like one of the like craziest villains ever, just because of his power. And I agree with that.
He was incredibly disturbed. Like I don't know. I would like to see a movie of that or a series of that.
Like a serial killer, like a Seven type movie, like.
Well, yeah, all the destruction he did in just one season. He'd been around a long time, or back when he was with her. That she keeps having the flashbacks about.
I like it.
I would like to see a Black Knight movie.
Yeah, I agree.
I would like to see a Black Knight movie as a soft Eternals 2. I know a lot of people hate on Eternals. I loved Eternals. And I love the potential that the character of the Black Knight has. And this talk of, this news came from Jeff Schneider, who I listened to, the Hot Mics podcast. And he said it, like, if you listen to his context, what he heard was that the Mahershala Ali Blade movie is just on the back burner, basically. And that like he thinks that that's going to get moved to a Midnight Suns movie, but that's not confirmed or anything. So what I think is that they're going to somehow get Dane Whitman, Kit Harington's character, the Black Knight, in our minds, whether that's in Doomsday or Secret Wars, but they're going to get him back in the zeitgeist, and then they're going to have a Black Knight movie. And that Black Knight movie is going to introduce the Midnight Suns. And then that Midnight Suns, I think there's going to be a trilogy of movies, Black Knight, Blade, and something else that are the Midnight Suns trilogy.
I could be down with that.
Reading between the lines of what Jeff Schneider said, that's what I'm picking up on. Is like they're like, okay, we can't figure out Blade, so we got to do something else first in this, what do you call it? Not the vampiric, but the mystical or that corner of Marvel. We need to do something else along the lines of Agatha, first, and then we'll bring him back in. So that's what I think, Nick.
No, I agree 100%, man. And I mean, as long as they don't overdo it, I think just like how the DC universe started with Creature Commandos, which is like touching on like, the Bride of Frankenstein and all these other, essentially it's the Suicide Squad, but the Monster Squad. And the reason why it was a big winner is just because of the lore that went with it. I think Marvel can do the same thing with the Midnight Suns. And as long as they don't, I think they just can't overdo it. That's all I'm saying. Just don't overdo it. They need to get the vibe of, I mean, honestly, if they want it to succeed, I mean, bring Wesley Snipes back. I mean, for real. I'm sorry. I just think that if you want something to win, bring Wesley Snipes back. I mean,
dude, what if Mahershala became like Dracula instead or something like that? Like, what if they gave him a bigger, better role? Like,
sure.
Dracula, like the head of all vampires. I don't know. Like, yeah,
Good. No, I agree with you.
I'm
man.
ready. I'm just ready for that side. Like, I loved Werewolf by Night, and I thought that was kind of a soft lead into where they're going with Blade, and I just want them to get back to it. So,
All right.
you
Well,
ready to move on from Marvel, or any other thoughts on Marvel?
Yeah, I think we should move to Star Trek personally.
yeah.
All right.
let's
So
go.
next category is other sci-fi. What's on our radar? Let's start with the Trek. What do you got, Rush?
Well, first and foremost, so what's awesome is, so I got a buddy here in New York that hadn't seen in a while, and we were talking. He is just as obsessed with Star Trek as I am, and he put it perfectly. I love all old Star Trek, Nick. You know, all the old series from Voyager to TNG to you name it, but the newest stuff, man, I just don't like it. Like the new Pike stuff and the new. I feel it'll probably be the same with the new Academy stuff.
Right.
I want a pocket-sized adventure every episode. That's what I want. Like going and seeing a planet or discovering a new race or whatever it is. And now they've gone this, like, they did it with Discovery. Discovery was good the first couple of seasons, and they get in this like crazy, like long timeline stuff. And like that's not what Star Trek is. It's never what it's been. Every series has been a pocket-sized adventure every episode. And you can. It's why it's great to have on TV, because you can just every episode you're like, all this stuff happens packed into one episode, and they close it off, and then it's like you can jump in anywhere essentially in the season. I mean, there's some stuff that connects, but you can jump in anywhere in the season and just enjoy an episode. I really don't like what they're doing there, and in that theme, you probably heard about this. You know, they're no longer doing the fourth Kelvin timeline, is what they call it, because they're no longer doing that fourth movie, and instead they're doing a new movie with all characters that you've never seen before. No Picard, no anybody, just new characters, which I think is ridiculous.
I mean, like, I haven't followed up on it too much, but like at one point I thought they were just going to reboot the entire thing again. But so you're saying they're just going to do a whole new.
They're not going on to Picard. They're not doing anything. They're just going to go. We're going to do something completely new with all new characters. Yeah. I don't know what that means.
But doesn't so I'm a fringe Trekkie. You know, I've watched a handful of episodes. I have an uncle that's a big Trekkie, so I like have deep conversations with him about the meaning and themes of episodes and things. But I by no means know a lot about Trek. But the big complaint about the J.J. Abrams movies, that's the Kelvin timeline, right?
Yeah.
Is that it was the first thing to break from continuity, right? Like, so as you were saying, like it's always been an anthology type show where like you can pick up at any point, but there is like a continuity to it where like, you know, these events happen, therefore they affect, you know, the future episodes or whatever.
Well, but here's the thing that I think is the neatest thing that's ever been done in the Kelvin timeline. It's not a remake, right? Everything that happened in the original series and the original movies and everything, it all happened. It all exists. It didn't change. It's all existing next to each other, like Back to the Future. Like it's a split timeline. They're running parallel to each other.
Yeah, it's like a pocket universe.
Right. So like when Spock is like talking about how, you know, Jim knew his father and all that stuff happened. So to me, it was the perfect for fans. Like, oh, you didn't rewrite anything or do anything. Well, Bill, you're right. I mean, it's interesting that you say that because now that I think about it, I was like, oh, well, they didn't do that with the movies. They did kind of make an anthology with the 10 original movies. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's some continuity because you have to have watched the shows, but it's not really like from 7 to 8 to 9 or whatever. It's like you're going off of what happened in the last movie.
But not. I guess what I'm saying is it's continuity of character, not plot. So like the plot is side the.
But all right, but if I'm getting you right, because it is different that it is continuity of plot in the Kelvin timeline, which is different.
But I think so, and I'm just piecing this together in my head. But I think what people get mad about is the miscontinuity of character. So like you have like a new Spock and a new Captain Kirk and a new Uhura and all these new, and they're
Right.
doing different things,
Yeah.
and they're acting different than their characters were in the show and the original movies.
Yeah.
And that's like what a lot of people had complaint about.
Sure.
And so like that's why when I heard this news of like completely new cast, I didn't take that as like, well, they're gonna like reinvent the wheel. It's just like, no, they're gonna like, as in my understanding, the next generation took that continuity of the characters from the original show, and like, yeah, we have the same history, but this is a new character, and so Captain Picard, like from here on, he's a blank slate. He can do whatever you want. Isn't that better? Like that's I think that's awesome.
Billy, here, let me kind of just clear this up here. So what Rush is kind of referring to is to what was the winning formula from the 60s to the 80s and 90s to Voyager, to I forgot the satellite one. What was the satellite one?
Oh, you're talking about Deep Space Nine?
Yeah, Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
It was that you have continuity of a main storyline, but like each episode, the majority of the episodes are going to be a contained story, but then you have maybe like out of 7 or 50 episodes. Yeah, out of like 50 episodes, you have like 15 of them are the ones that progress the main storyline. Yeah. So what, and this was the winning formula that the 60s started, the 80s and 90s generation continued with Voyager after that, and Deep Space Nine at the same time,
right?
Continued as well.
Each time with a new cast of characters.
Well, yes. The reason why you could do the new cast of characters, but they're different people. I mean, totally different people, you know, and the reason why they worked is you still had these certain people playing certain parts. You still had the smart person doing the science thing. You still had the main person doing this thing.
You're making my point for me, man.
Thing. It was everyone kind of playing their parts, and it was a winning formula. And
hold on. I think I'm seeing the disconnect between you two. I think Billy, I
feel like you're making my point.
Well, no, because Billy, I think you're saying that Nick, he's saying from like the old Spock and the old Kirk to go ahead and make them essentially new-ish characters with the new movies is not necessarily what people wanted. I don't think he's referring to going to Picard and the new cast. And you're right that yes, they're making them like the same. They take over the same usefulness of that character, right? But that people didn't like going into making them. They want them to be very much a lot like the old Kirk and the old Spock.
Yeah. And the reason why is because of what I was saying is it was the formula. It was the formula started from the 60s that the generation continued. And this is what you were talking about. This is what Russ is talking about though, is that you have a continuity, and out of like 50 shows, majority of them are all a contained episode. But then you have like 15 of them that are going to progress the main storyline.
The new, essentially, to the point you're making on the new movies, they like with the new-ish shows, other than Picard, they just did that on crack. They're like, we're gonna make these like every other show, in my opinion.
Yeah,
right?
all
it's like
main
we're gonna have continuity, no more pocket adventures. Every episode's gonna flow into the next one. We're gonna have an occasional musical fucking episode, which I thought was ridiculous. But it pissed me off so much. I was like, he just wasted an episode. He just wasted my time. Like I didn't do either. It didn't continue on the story or give me a pocket, you know. But like to Nick's point, every single show is like that. Even Enterprise, that was the prequel, was like that. And the new shows, like they haven't figured it out, because I think they're gonna do the same shit with the Starfleet Academy. And I'm like, I don't have any interest in any of that shit.
Did you hear this? Did you hear that they're bringing Enterprise back?
What do you mean?
With Bakula? They're bringing Enterprise back with Bakula.
Dude,
that's what I heard.
Don't mess with me, Nick, because that was maybe like
I swear to God, this is like a couple months ago I saw.
That's my third favorite show. I love that show.
Dude, I love Scott Bakula. Bakula? Yeah,
Who doesn't, man? Quantum Leap.
I mean, So that would make a lot of sense to me as an outsider. Like, yeah, if you're gonna do a show about Picard, why wouldn't you do a show about his character?
Totally.
I
Well,
think
I mean, like,
so.
Billy,
So
I mean, like,
wait, hold on, Nick. Hold on,
all right,
hold
go
on,
ahead,
hold
go
on.
ahead.
Going back to the point, you guys brought up the fact about this new Star Wars show, and they're bringing in a new cast and like new stories and stuff, right? Like that's
Well,
what we
I mean,
heard.
like, that
Well,
wasn't like kind of the
Nick,
point. The way they're doing it, though, the way they're doing it is
But you
just
don't
not.
know how they're doing it.
No, I mean, okay, so the
Or do
Fleet
you know that-
Academy,
is it
the Discovery.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
But
I
do
mean,
you
they're
know
not
for a
doing. Well, I'm just saying from what we've seen, I don't know what they're gonna do.
they're
but
doing
Billy,
that with
I
the
don't know
movie
what they're
too.
gonna
All
do.
new characters, all new shit.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna do this upcoming stuff. All I'm saying is compared to these new ones that came out, I mean, Picard could be the exception here because Picard's like I just like I have to make an exception for that. But I'm just saying from the I guess it's just the nostalgia talking, and this is what this was. This was a winning formula of how a show.
So how do you know they're not going back to that formula?
Exactly. I don't. I don't. All I'm saying.
So why are you arguing with me?
Well, I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying, going off of what he was saying from like the Discovery and the Fleet, from the previews of like the Fleet Academy, all this stuff. Like it doesn't look like
Promising.
Not promising, but like how they did it back in the 90s and the 80s. Give me a Voyager show, man. Give me a Voyager show. Like, dude, Voyager was the shit. I loved Voyager.
Voyager
Next Generation, number one. But like,
yeah, absolutely.
Not saying I'm right, but as an outside Star Trek fan, like hearing that, like, yeah, they're gonna do something just totally different, like new characters, new, like, I don't care what timeline it's in or connected to whatever, like that's attractive to me because everything you guys have like argued against, like, but you got to understand. It's like, but I'm the outsider. I don't care. You have to understand that I don't care.
Like we were talking earlier about like the connecting stuff that you were talking about, Nick, with Marvel. And like, I don't think they're going to be able to do that because they need to bring more eyes on the screen. I think Billy's right in that, like, every time I try to get someone into Star Trek, which I have my buddy Ryan, I've gotten him to watch like a bunch of the series and stuff, is there's so much to watch. Like they feel like it's homework, because there's 10 different fucking series, like some of them with 7 seasons. Like no one has the time to sit down and spend the months that it takes to watch.
Dude, Voyager's just like every day, like take an episode. It's so long, dude. It's a journey. It's a journey, man.
Yeah, totally. I love it.
No, I mean, I get it, Rush. I get it. And I get what you're saying that like, and it kind of goes back to that thing where, they should be making things where you don't have to know the past and all that stuff. I get that. And it can be totally contained. I get that. And that's what it would be profitable because it could possibly sell more tickets. But at the same time, it's just like, don't do stuff because it's just going to be profitable. Fuck.
At the same time, don't do that.
Yeah, do stuff because it's artistic. I mean, like all I'm saying is like my argument to that would be look at the winning formula from Deep Space Nine, Enterprise, Voyager.
You get no argument for me. I just want more of those. I want
exactly. Exactly. I mean, like the reason why that shit was so.
At least they gave us Picard.
Right. Yeah. I mean, all I'm saying is just, there's arguments to both sides, but our side, Rush, has a whole bunch of empirical data going back to the 60s.
I gotta point something out though, that Nick, even though we both love Picard is not that formula.
Right. I know that.
It's a combination. It's a combination of so many different shows put in one. Because it's not just Picard. They put a lot of in there. They put a bunch of shit in there.
I will say Picard is kind of like the bow they're trying to tie on at the very end of everything.
Yeah, dude. When they're all in the original Enterprise, man, on the bridge, that was.
And why? And that works because of. It works because of everything that Next Generation was. I mean, that's all I'm saying is just, Billy, I get your argument, and I will say that there is validity to it. All I'm saying is that my argument has like a back to the 60s of data that shows that it's a working formula, and I just don't understand. I just don't understand why they just don't do that. Like, hey, even if it's cheap, even if it's like, not that well thought out, like, hey, let's get a show where they do like these like little episodes, hour-long episodes, and they're on a ship, they go on adventures, and we have a couple of continuity episodes that will win. I guarantee it. It will fucking win. And it's proven for multiple series. Like, I just don't get it. Like,
do you get it, Billy?
All right.
Do you get it?
All right, we're moving on from Star Trek.
All right.
So sticking with sci-fi, let's talk a little bit about Fallout. I'm not I'm a casual fan of Fallout. I watched most of season 1, didn't get totally into it. Been following season 2 a little bit so far. So,
Rush, you haven't watched season 2 at all, but you watched season 1.
Just watch season 1.
Okay.
Which I really liked. I zoomed right through it, which is hard for me to do these days.
I won't give away too much of a spoilers and stuff like that, but as far as Fallout series goes, season 1 was awesome. I didn't think it was. I never played the games. I knew a little bit about the lore, but I never played the games. But I love season 1. The the characters, as far as who everyone is, as far as their part in the story, I thought it was very well done. I thought the story had a lot to it. Now, season 2 just totally brings a whole lot more into that, because it's like that same thing. It's that whole way anybody does it, like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, or anything that has like a story that's contained into a big universe. They can add in these things later on. So season 2 brings a whole lot more of the story. It brings a whole lot more character development. Macaulay Culkin's in it, which is
I heard that. Yeah.
I like a good series that shows good monsters. This has shown some pretty good monsters, which I like, and they are not cheesy. As far as standout series, Fallout is definitely up there as far as very well done. I think that you guys, once you actually watch the series,
I agree. Like the scene where he's playing cowboy and then the nuke goes off. Like there was you're like, oh, this is sweet and funny, and then it's him and his daughter, and you're like, oh shit, this got real serious.
You find so much more about what happens with his just total mindset that's going on, and what he finds out and all this stuff. It's so crazy, but it's crazy, but it's sad, and it's just what he has to do and all this stuff, and I love it. And that's why you kind of I love his character in the present as the ghoul, where he's just unforgiving, and he's just talking to I don't know her name in the series, I can't remember off the top of my head, but she's just so naive, and just the golden rule and all this stuff, and he's just you remind me of me 200 years ago. I love that. It just looking on the optimistic side, and then over 200 years, he's just dude, shoot him now. Don't ask questions later. I don't care who the frick you are. I love that. I love how, and I'll say this, dude, they expand a whole lot on her dad and how big of a piece of absolute just monster trash he is. And he is a monster. And then
who are you talking about?
Her dad.
Her dad.
His dad, Hank, and he's just an absolute monster. And then they introduce you to some new technology they didn't kind of show you in the first season that fills in the gaps as to why certain things happen, and it's fucking cool, man. It really is cool. And I didn't at first I was just oh, okay, but then I saw another episode after. I was like, dude, that makes what I just saw a whole lot cooler. So I think that the biggest hype as far as series goes, and I think it's one of this the hype is, or the series is delivering to the hype, is Fallout. I thoroughly agree with it. The acting, the character arcs, everything, and then the cameos, like Macaulay Culkin, like dude, like so fucking cool, man, like shit. But yeah, I mean, you guys are gonna be pleasantly surprised, and you guys are gonna like it. So I think I don't know how many episodes usually the season is, maybe 8, but we are 4 episodes in now. And it's just like it kind of makes you hate these people that conspired to do this entire thing. Like it's just like, they killed everybody for profit and like to take control and all this stuff, and it's just like, man, like these little kids, because they show all these like pictures, videos of little kids playing around, and then like they're dead, you know what I mean? Like it's just like fuck. And then it just shows like how, what I love is they show how society bounced back, but then these like evil people like hit society again. I won't give it away, but like, yeah, I mean, you'll see that. But yeah, so Fallout definitely meeting my hype, and I think it's one of the top series. Anything anybody want to add?
Bill, you're cut, I think.
Thank you, Rush. I was just going to check before we continue on. Do you need a jump, Rush, or are you good?
Yeah.
What, you're good?
Yeah, no, I need to.
Oh, you need to.
I can do like 5 more minutes.
Okay. Yeah. So on the sci-fi radar, we are continuing on. Fallout. I'm going to give it a chance, Nick. I'll follow up with you. Pluribus. Did you watch that, Nick?
Dude, I'm halfway through that series. It's awesome.
Is it worth it, Rush? I got 2 episodes in, and I was just like,
totally worth it because the originality. It's a wild premise, and I'm totally into it.
I'll give it a shot.
It's got a first episode that you're like, holy shit,
Yeah, so I mean, I watched 2 episodes, and then I was just like, man, I don't know.
Oh, really? Because it takes me a lot to watch 2 or 3 episodes, and I think I watched the first 3 or 4, like right in succession.
I'll turn it back on. Man. I definitely will.
It's a well done show. Really looking forward to what's coming next. We'll talk more about that. Another show that I'm looking forward to season 2 of is Paradise, Sterling K. Brown show, the St. Louis guy.
MICDS guy. Okay.
Was he? I did not know that.
Yeah. He gave the speech at the Centennial event that I went to at MICDS. Yeah.
Nice. Yes, if you guys haven't watched season 1, I'm not going to give you any spoilers. It's really good. I would put it in sci-fi, but it's not really sci-fi. It's not billed as sci-fi. But yeah, I'm looking forward to season 2. 2 more on my list. Day of Disclosure, Steven Spielberg's newest sci-fi movie. It's going to be kind of like, a little bit of Close Encounters of the Third Kind-ish, a little bit like that. So you guys heard anything about that?
No.
I watched the preview. It's hard to pin down exactly what's going on there. I mean, I think it's a while before it comes out, but like, dude, there's some epic movie, that and The Odyssey, and I think The Odyssey and Doomsday come out on the same day, and they need to figure that out, right?
Hey, Billy, before Rush leaves,
that's right. You're right. Yeah.
Hey, Billy, before Rush leaves, I want to do that thing that we've been ending with what we think should be remade. But let's you and me continue to finish up this up after he leaves.
All right, yeah. Let's do a little closeout.
Rush.
Let Rushy go. He's got a little baby to tend to.
But if you guys, one of the things I wanted to add to this last conversation before Rush gets out here is, did you see that Robin Hood?
It's gonna be tight.
The death
I have no idea
Jack.
what the hell that's about, but it kind of looks cool.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Okay. All right, so Rush, before you go, because me and Billy are gonna finish out our little thing here, but we've been doing this thing at the very end where we take movies we back in the day and what do we think should be remade. So like, Gremlins, Mac and Me, or, it's just stuff like that. Or, okay, so that's what we think. So I'll start here. Either remade or sequel. I'll say that. So I'm going to say Big Trouble in Little China. I could do either a sequel, but I think a better one might be a remake. But I think an old, I forgot his name. I forgot Kurt Russell's name in the show, but movie. But I think that would be good. I actually wrote a sequel to Big Trouble in Little China one time. But yeah, I think that would be my pick.
We're making a sequel to Cliffhanger, by the way.
With
I know,
Stallone?
but Sylvester Stallone's not, he's like directing it. And it's with his chick that's the main character. I don't know about that. But God, what was it? I just had something on my mind that I was going to say should be. I think more often than not, you should not remake things. I would like more of a sequel. Like them remaking Point Break was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
I won't disagree with you. I
was disgusted by that. It was just so horrific on so many levels. So I'd like to see continuations of some things. And there's something I'm thinking of recently where they just did like a second of it, or doing a second of it. I can't remember, but you could make a sequel.
Well, Rush thinks
you can make a sequel off of pretty much any Nick Cage movie, and I'll watch it. They've been talking about doing like a face-off thing for a long time. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Yeah.
No, I think that's still a thing, to be honest.
I think it is. It is. But if you were to do it's hard. You couldn't do like The Rock or things like that again. But I would watch anything. I could do an Ace Ventura 3. I'd be very happy with that. I feel like there's got to be an action. You know what?
That's good.
Let me bring this up because I really liked the last Terminator that they did, but James Cameron is talking about
Genesis
cutting off some of them and doing another one. Like he's really
retconning the other ones, and
now he's done with all the Avatar shit, which would, in my opinion, is a complete waste of a director to do for the last fucking 15 years. But he could make so many movies, and I think he's going to take he's now has the rights back to the franchise. I think he did in the last movie, but now he's going to actually possibly direct one. So that would be good.
So would he be retconning a bunch of them and doing a
take a few of them out of there, like Genesis and
just do after Terminator 2 or something like that?
That maybe, although I think he wanted that last one that I actually thought was pretty good. I think that he might keep that canon, but he could possibly just go, fuck it, let's just go after it too, which I'd be fine with.
Billy, what do you got?
I want them to remake The Shadow
with Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that movie is sick.
That movie's awesome, but
yeah,
it wasn't really good. Like, it's not real rewatchable, but like the lore of
I love it.
Is so good. Have you tried to rewatch it in the last 5 years?
I have.
I actually watched it.
I actually rewatched it sometime in the last decade. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But I like the whole 1940s, 50s, and the mystical.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the whole building's there the whole time. You don't see it.
Picture Road to Perdition, but with The Shadow. That would be fucking dope, dude.
All right, Rush,
bro.
And then you got Alec Baldwin could do a cameo and be like, I didn't murder people. Oh wait. Let's not.
I didn't shoot that lady, I promise.
Rush, before you get out of here, Billy, do you have the chart?
Oh yeah. Hang on, give me one second.
We're gonna rate 2025 as far as not how it went for us, but as far as cinema and television wise, if it's I don't know, I don't remember the it's like Wizard, mostly Wizard, totally Wizard.
Give me a second here.
Billy's got a chart real quick.
Your screen, allow. What do I want to share? I want to share a window, and it's where's the window? Oh, come on. Here, I'll full screen this. All right, so here's our chart. Can you guys see it?
No.
Add to stage.
There it is.
How do I remove this frame? Darn it.
Screw just leave it.
Whatever. You guys can see it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll give 2025 specifically because of Superman, Creature Commandos, Skeleton Crew, Severance. Predator Badlands. I'll give it a Wizard. There are certain things.
Can you bring that up one more time, Billy?
Hang on. Sorry, Nick, I canceled you.
No, you're good. You're good. I won't give it a totally Wizard because like Alien Earth was a total letdown. And that pissed me off so fucking much. But I'll give it a Wizard.
I'm going kind of Wizard.
Sorry, Nick. I'm messing up.
I'm sorry to disappoint you with the kind of Wizard. I'm going kind of Wizard because I thought it was top heavy, man. Like you like as far as movies, you had Superman and you had Fantastic Four and you had Deadpool and Wolverine, but I felt like there was a real lack of diversity in content. Like
I feel that that's
you know,
a good point. Yeah, I feel that.
Like Star Trek's my favorite thing, man. Like I'm not liking any of the new stuff. Like there's a lot. I feel like 2026 is going to be a lot better.
Yeah.
But just so you guys know, I heard this the other day. There will be 26 sequels made. 26 sequels coming out in 2026, which is wild. But like, dude, Odyssey and the new Spider-Man and Doomsday. Like I think we're gonna have a big year next year. But that's pretty much it for me.
Billy?
All right, gentlemen, here, Billy, you go, and then I got to run.
So we're talking about 2025 entertainment wise. I'd say it was Wizard. I think it was a really good year, to be honest. Like I love Sinners. I love One Battle After Another. I just watched I've watched One Battle After Another 3 times over the last 2 weeks. It's such a good movie. A lot of good things came out. A lot of news came out. I feel like we're over the hump with all this actor strike stuff from the past couple of years. So yeah,
definitely.
I'm psyched. All right, Rush.
All right, I love you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I love you too, buddy. Man. Happy anniversary here at Mostly Wizard.
I'm glad you came here,
happy anniversary, boys. Hey, keep on trucking. Keep on trucking.
All right, man.
All right, Billy, my young William Billy. So let's do. We didn't get to kind of finish up with the sleeper projects worth watching. What is something that you have that you're hearing? You got your ear to the ground and you're hearing is going to be dope. Because honestly, like I haven't heard too much, but I saw a little bit of previews of that Mercy something, whatever the hell. It kind of looked cool. I mean,
what? Mercy?
I don't know. It's like Mercy something. Fuck, what is that? Mercy movie. So what is your sleeper projects coming out?
My sleeper projects. I guess as far as you're concerned, Day of Disclosure is my biggest sleeper. I can't believe you haven't heard anything about that. So Day of Disclosure is Steven Spielberg's next movie coming out this year. It is about the disclosure of a lot of the information that's been coming out over the past few years about UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena.
Right.
The David Grush stuff, those stories.
Is this a docu?
No, it's not a documentary, but what I was saying earlier, where I feel like it's going to be of the ilk of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Yeah, Nick, I see that.
Well, I'm not showing everybody else though, but
that's like the third time you've done that.
I know, because the Chain Station's awesome and Kick-Ass Bluegrass. Get out of here. All right. Well, I mean, keep going because I'm listening because I want to hear this.
No, you threw me off. I'm what am I even talking about?
Steven Spielberg's movie.
Okay. Steven Spielberg is putting out a movie called Day of Disclosure. It's with Olivia Wilde. Oh, no, not Olivia Wilde. What's her name? Emily Blunt. I don't know why I get those two names mixed up every now and then. Emily Blunt is the main character. She's like a newscaster, and on air, she's I think she's given the weather or something. and she just starts. Nick, are you listening?
I'm looking at the thing right now. I'm reading.
Okay,
it.
so she just starts going like starts clicking and shit. It's like a message from aliens. So like that's what I think. It's gonna be like not a War of the Worlds, Steven Spielberg alien movie, or an E.T. Maybe a little bit of E.T. I don't know, but like more Close Encounters of the Third Kind, where it's like he pulled from real UFO sightings, and that there's that French scientist that's in Close Encounters that's like an amalgamation of all these different real world UFO scientists that some people call them quacks or whatever, but like he's an amalgamation of all these people who have studied unidentified aerial phenomenon. And Steven Spielberg knows some shit, like he's done his research, and that's why I think like this movie's gonna pull together a couple generations of accounts and interactions with people and things and unidentified things and unidentified. I don't know. I think there is something that is there's a mystery out there, and there is some type of cover up. And I think this movie is going to illuminate a little bit of truth onto that real world cover up. I think personally.
I'll tell you this, and I'm down with everything you just said. I just hope that the way they do it, or he does it, it includes someone like John Williams, and it's done in an artistic way, like Close Encounters of the Third Kind was done. Because the reason why, number one, and this will always be my number one thing as to why movies succeed, is the score. If the score is awesome, like especially if you have somebody like John Williams with a
synthesizer.
No, what's the symphony? All right, pay no attention to me. I have a problem with pronouncing stuff, and it's an issue I've always had. But someone with John Williams with a symphony behind him, doing the score, I think it's going to succeed, because that is and I've said this throughout our podcast, that one of the number one things that a movie can do to just make itself succeed is to bring the audience in and bring that vibe. And that is, the sound that goes along with it is a number one thing. And that's why, things like back in the day, why some of those old movies are so awesome is because they have no music that goes along with it. Maybe at certain times, but most of the times it's all emphasis on sound effects, walking or breathing or stuff like that. And that's why that's what is a big difference between back in the day and now type of deals. But like I said, one of the things that's always, and the reason why, Star Wars, and of course I'm not thinking of other movies right off the top of the bat right now, but all those movies with, awesome scores, and mainly with John Williams, who's, done the scores and stuff like that, is because they have these just music that just brings you into the setting. And
yeah, dude. I've always said with Star Wars specifically, you've heard me say this before, it's my headcanon, and I know this is silly, but it's my headcanon that the music in Star Wars is the Force. And so John Williams, of all the people who were involved in creating Star Wars, knows the Force the most. He's most in tune, because that's where, those melodies about Leia, he knew Leia had the Force before we knew Leia had the Force, that, the general audience knew.
Sure.
He knows these things. So he builds that little bit of
that little melody.
That little bit of theme in there. It's great. So and he brings that to other, that not I use Star Wars obviously as the example, but brings that to every project that he comes to. So hopefully, I know Day of Disclosure has I forget who it has attached, but Steven Spielberg, he doesn't work with anybody but the best. So nothing to worry about.
has
What?
it says Steven Spielberg, director, screenplay, David
Goyer?
Coimp.
Oh, Coimp.
Yeah, Koemeepp. That's all it says. Screenplay, David Koepp.
Yeah, dude, this movie's been kind of being kept under wraps, so there's not a lot of
Good.
details about it other than the trailer that came out.
I'm not going to watch the trailer right now because I don't want
to
play. But so far as coming
real
up
quick,
here,
the last thing that I have to mention is Dune 3. Dune Messiah is coming out this year. Dune's Day.
Really?
Yeah, everybody's like, it's coming out. Rush said earlier about Doomsday and something else coming out on the same day, but he was mistaken. It is Dune 3, and Doomsday coming out on the same weekend. So Dune's Day. There's a lot of t-shirts being made and everything. I am so freaking psyched for this movie. I think it's the best two movies, Dune 1 and Part 1 and Part 2 were the best sci-fi movies ever created.
And you know why they're absolutely puts them above par is because of the musical score that goes along with that. Like, all I'm saying is that, yes, you are right as far as it being above par. Can I say that it's like the best thing I've ever seen? No, I that's my opinion. But what puts it above everything, a lot of other movies for me, as far as sci-fi movies go, is the musical score that just brings you out of your world of Earth and brings you to I forgot the Carathia. What's the name of the desert planet? What is it? Caracas? Arrakis, yeah. And brings you to Arrakis is this like musical score and like to this universe that totally different culture and all this stuff. It's the musical score. And if they and I know they will. Because it brings this artistic value to it. And when you have this artistic value to it, it brings this whole nother level as to why it's awesome. And again, like, dude, Starfighter. I mean, if Starfighter can bring the heat like that, dude, all I'm saying is I think Starfighter's gonna be a good fucking flick, and I think it's gonna be a standalone fucking awesomeness. But again, though, I mean, Billy, are we talking about like a Han Solo prequel movie? Are we talking about well, I'm talking about Starfighter.
Yeah, I know. Why are you bringing in Han Solo prequel movie?
Because we're talking about
are you asking
that's what Starfighter is. It's a standalone movie. Han Solo was a standalone. It was kind of a standalone movie, pretty much. Rogue One was kind of a standalone movie when it was first made. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying is, okay, let's look at the difference between Han Solo and Rogue One. Rogue One 100% brought you in with the musical score, and Han Solo,
so hot take, Rogue One, the score in that honestly that's one thing when I think about rewatching Star Wars movies, I'm like, ugh, I don't want to hear that dun 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 dun. I did not like the score in Rogue One.
Okay, I'm gonna respect everything you just said. Can you at least admit the sound effects? I mean, like, all right, let me put this a different way. Did Rogue One bring you into a Star Wars feel more than Han Solo did?
I don't know. I would put them equally.
Oh,
Like as far as like bring them in, I think they both brought me into the world like well. Like I like both those movies.
I will respect that
different
opinion.
things.
I will respect that opinion. My opinion is that Rogue One 100% represented old school Star Wars as far as sound effects, bringing you into that feel, the score, way more than Han Solo. And the only reason I'm picking on Han Solo is because of just how bad the reception is. I'm not going to, like, there's way worse Star Wars than Han Solo. Sequels. Ugh, gotta get that out of my throat. But so I will just say that. But I think that Starfighter, I think that one of the main things that is just it will set it and make it a success is if they do something like that is make sure that either the sound effects are good or the score is good. But and this just reminded me, Billy. I wanted to say this, and I think this is something that they should do. I think we've talked about this. They should do like a serial killer mystery movie, like Star Wars movie, like a almost like a Psycho type deal where you're not hearing a lot. You really don't hear very much music, but it's very sound effects driven. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you could put in some Jedi or Sith, whatever, but like still, it's like like a Seven or a Psycho type deal. I think that would be
dope. No, we're not gonna get that soon though.
But why can't we? Can we write that? Can we write that and submit that?
Yeah, we can. They're not taking admissions. No. So just real quick to like respond to your. I think I finally got what you were asking. Like I know for a fact that Starfighter is going to be more Solo than it is Rogue One.
Oh.
So deal with it.
Oh. All right. No. How about this?
And
is Starfighter going to be more of our space truckers idea or more of a Han Solo idea?
Oh, it'll be more space truckers for sure.
I
think no, and I don't say like that's what I was saying earlier. Like you were pitting one against the other. I love both, but both are very different. Sure. And what I was saying earlier with the Dave Filoni, and I should have looked up her name, who the other co-lead is going to be.
I don't know her name
of Lucasfilm. With them moving forward, I think we're going to get. I know we're going to get less Rogue One and less Andor and more Solo and more Skeleton Crew.
Okay. All right. So I'm not angry at that because Skeleton Crew, I honestly, I fucking loved. I love the kiddiness of it. Yeah. Like, it was, I like that. It not that it was, had kids as the main characters, but like,
I know what you mean. I know.
Yeah. Like it was, a show we would have watched as kids. I like that. So I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, dude. No, but that's what I was trying to say earlier is like, I'm not mad about it, but it is kind of disappointing that like, the best thing that has come out since the original trilogy Andor season 2 is we're probably not going to get that at least for another 10 years, something like that dark and that dark thematic, like oppression and the Empire and rebellion and all this stuff.
Thrawn.
I don't think we're going to get that.
Thrawn? Could Thrawn be that?
I think they could. I hope they weave some of that in there. That could be a promising route. Yeah, man. Let's pull on that thread a little bit. Like, that'll be fucking dope.
Yeah, I mean, like what you just said makes sense for how they would do it. Like no other movie, they couldn't do a movie like in the Andor vibe. And the only thing I can think of like, at all, it would be to make Thrawn a absolute villain that is, one can't be trifled with. Is they would have to, make it show those humanistic, feels that they did like in Andor, with Thrawn, like just
and with the so like going back a little bit, like so what we have coming out next is Mandalorian Grogu. We know that's connected to Mandalorian and Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett, and the Ahsoka series, and we know like where the Republic is with all that, and we know that the big threat has been throughout the Mandalorian, the Imperial Remnant. Moff Gideon was kind of this like extremist he was kind of the Saw Gerrera of the Imperial Remnant. Dude, what if they're treating the Imperial Remnant like the Rebel Alliance? That would be fucking dope. What if we got an Imperial Remnant style, like focused movie or project where it's like we see it from their perspective, like this new republic is coming in and they're trying to lay down the law, and like you were raised in this freaking clinic by all these Imperials, and your brain is all wired to be like Deidre from Andor,
Dude, I can see that movie now where it's literally like.
But you're trying to break out of that, but also.
Well, I mean, like if you're familiar with anything, like because they do show a bunch of comics of like how it is in the Empire and how they move up the ranks, and it's kind of being cutthroat and shit like that, and it's just I can see that now where it's like like I said, remember that the movie I just pitched, the Psycho type, serial killer type deal. That could be something like that, where it's like there's not much music going on, but there is serious moments where it's just like, hey, they've got these, women and children, and then they're like looking at them, and then all of a sudden something they do something bad, type of deal. But then you hear this inner monologue or narrator or type of thing. I can see that. I think that would be a successful movie as well. And that's what I think that like a lot of these things, and I'm glad we talked about it, and I brought this up earlier with these standalone Marvel movies that are not always connected to everything. I think that is a big success that the reason why they're doing that Starfighter is that it's a isolated movie type of deal. I think they can do a whole
and Mando and Grogu too. That's a isolated side mission.
I thought Mandalorian and Grogu was supposed to be like connected to Thrawn and Luke.
Well, no, it's all gonna be connected, but like what you were just saying, like it's gonna be that, like it can be a.
Oh yeah. Like in the I see.
Just have that common thread going through.
Right,
like of course, there's like a Thrawn in the background or an Imperial Remnant aspect, but yeah, Mando and Grogu and Ahsoka, and like that's all gonna be connected. Like that's fun to me. Like I like that.
Dude, I agree with you. And like that's one of the biggest qualms I have about why. I mean, I'm glad they're not just pumping out, Star Wars, but at the same time though, like there are just so many good things and opportunities that they are just totally just fucking up. And I mean, like, I hope, and then like we'll touch back on this conversation in whenever Starfighter comes out, because Starfighter is really gonna set the stage for how these new isolated Star Wars themes could be, because that's kind of like what Skeleton Crew was. I mean, like I'm interested to see how Skeleton Crew actually ties in. But the first season was just, it seemed isolated. We don't really know how it's connecting to the overall universe and stuff like that. But
real quick, just to stop you, the one takeaway that we had was that those hidden funds are going to be used for the Imperial Remnant. Remember?
Yeah. No, I get you.
It's all right there, man. Like they're gonna go cool with it. It's just like, how dark are they gonna get with it? Like how deep are they gonna get with it and all that? So,
all right, Bilbo.
Nick, last topic. Let's close on this.
All right.
Last night I watched the last third of this movie that I had been trying to watch for the last 4 days, but I kept falling asleep to. Tron Ares.
Oh yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, I liked it too. I mean, like, the only problem I had with it, it was a little bit lackluster. It was it should have been less of the real world and more of what, because like the whole thing was that, like, so the previous Tron Legacy, and I'll fully admit I haven't seen the first Tron, but Tron Legacy had to deal with this one place. I forgot the name of it, but what's his name, takes out Olivia Wilde from there, and she's like, one of the first ever, I forgot what they call her, but she's makes it into the real world. Number one, what pissed me off is they didn't touch on really any of that except for briefly. And number two is they have created, like, I guess this other company was there the entire time, but like either way, they both have these mainframes now that, like, they have, these, programs that, are like people, are represented by people, I should say.
They can print in real world for 28
right
minutes.
right and so the other one can attack the other one, and it's just like they're not connected, and then the whole time it's just like, Jared Leto's character, which I do like his arc, but then I don't like his arc. I liked his arc that he was started off as just this. He was I think he was the security something, but he was this force that he was the enforcer, and all his job was to obey. And the whole idea of the AI was that, it experiences and then it questions the person or thing that's giving the orders as to, hey, you just let that other program that I've become accustomed to die without a second thought, and they become disillusioned type of a deal. And then they experience the real world, and then they're like, hey, I like, what's going on with this. You guys aren't so bad type of deal. I thought the story could have been better. It was good, but I thought it could have been better done, if that makes sense.
Yeah, man, that makes sense. And like that's kind of what I'm saying. Like I went into it with very low expectations,
right?
And just like finished it in a few
right.
sittings. And like I kept wanting to come back and finish it. And it was like, oh, like, yeah, like I have no, like, yeah, it was not the best movie, but I'm gonna watch it again and probably a few more times.
I mean, like,
I thought it was cool.
Dude, I don't.
The music was dope.
Yeah, the music was dope. I agree with you, and that's one of the things I was looking forward to. And again, dude, that's why Tron Legacy was one. The movie was so much better because of the musical score.
Yeah.
But like, I think one of the things that they just did, they struck out on was they should have brought back Olivia Wilde's character, and they should have brought back Flynn's son's character.
Yeah.
I just thought that was a big swing and a miss that they.
So one complaint that I did have was like in the beginning, it's like exposition. They literally go through like a news wire thing, like, but it's like in 3D, so it's cool. And yeah, like they show like the young Flynn guy has just gone off the map, off the grid in the real world. And I took that as like, yeah, he probably just ran off with that robot chick that he met at the end. And, like that's that. So maybe there's another movie in 5 years or so that picks up with them. I mean, this movie, this was, if you look at it like a Star Wars type movie, like this is like a solo to a Rogue One. They're in the same worlds, but just different. And I liked it for what it was. I thought it was cool. I'm gonna watch it again.
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with you whatsoever. I think it was a good movie. Just the story was a little lackluster, and I think they could have done it better.
No, I agree. I hear you.
I agree. Like, if they were to do a third one on top of that, was that during the sitting?
I think we're about done.
Was that during the sitting?
Yeah.
No, I if they were to do a third one, Billy, I would hope they would bring back Olivia Wilde and the other guy's character. Jared Leto, I have he was good in it, you know, he was cool. But yeah, I mean, like the only other problem I had was just if they could just explain a little bit more how they're getting actual physical, you know, turning photons into physical matter, you know, from this to that, you know, because you're essentially turning photon atoms into, you know, non-photon.
Well,
I already know how to explain it. You know?
So the thing that where that, and we want to wrap up obviously, but like
Sure.
to me that like 3D printing with the lasers
Right.
thing was one of the things that worked because they put that time limit on it.
Sure.
That was like the fallibility of it. So like, yeah, like okay, so that's as deep as we're gonna get. Like we're not gonna explain like how these lasers actually print matter. Like that I can like take a mental leap, you know, no big deal. But like the thing that makes it more realistic is like, okay, there's a time limit on it. So like we don't know how it works, but like
until you get the code,
it's temporary. And like there's this theoretic code that's like makes it permanent. And so like I bought it. Like I bought it all the way along. And
that was the story. I mean, it helped the story. No, I get it. You know, and I feel you on that. I'm not gonna hate on it completely because of that. But like I don't know. I want to know more about it, and I would like to. If they were gonna dive deeper, I think that would be part of it. But everybody, we really appreciate you guys. This is 1 year we have been doing this. We're gonna continue to pump these out because, you know, this is what we started this because this is fun for us to talk about. And, you know, we're super happy that you guys can join in with us. Feel free to comment and share. We love you guys. We're going to keep doing this. We may not do it as often because there may not be as podcast worthy stuff to do, but we are certainly going to definitely be trying here in the future. So I don't even know what's coming out next, man. I couldn't even tell you when the next one when we'll be doing something, but I'm sure in the next month or so.
Yeah, I can't think of what's next. Shoot.
Hey, dude, Billy, we'll
do one after.
Yeah, some show will come out. I mean, you know,
Wonder Man. Wonder Man is coming out next week, so let's binge that and we'll do a show about it.
Sure.
All right, Nick, happy anniversary.
Woo! Love you all. Love you, Billy.
See you, man.
See ya.